The scariest day of my life happened about a month ago. My parents went to spend the weekend at their friend's lakeside cabin. It was like a barbecue or something. I don't know. Anyway, they kept saying they really didn't want to leave me and my little brother alone for 2 days. But they decided that since I was almost 17, I was responsible enough to take care of the two of us. Well, I might be old enough to be left at home on my own, but that doesn't mean that I'm at all that responsible. What I'm saying is that the second I found out that my parents might be leaving town, I decided that I'd invite some friends over. As for Harvey, my 8-year-old brother, he's always been a quiet, non-confrontational kid, so I knew he wouldn't be a problem. So that weekend came, my parents left their friend's phone number, just in case, kissed us goodbye, and took off. As soon as they left, I was ready to get the party started. I texted all my friends to come to my place for a sleepover. I ordered some pizzas and set a playlist. I also asked Harvey to stay out of the way. He agreed and asked to go to the playground. The playground he was talking about was right next to our house. You could see it through the window. I knew that Harvey would just spend the whole time playing basketball out there, so I let him go as long as he promised he wouldn't stay out too late. He pinky swore, grabbed his ball, and went out to play. My friends showed up not long after that. We ate pizza, listened to music, and just chilled. You know, typical teenage stuff. Hours went by, and I lost track of time. At one point, I noticed that it was getting dark. I looked outside to see if Harvey was still on the playground. He wasn't. In the dim light from the street lights, I could see his ball in the middle of the court. I got so annoyed. I went to the stairs and yelled, "Harvey, you forgot your ball outside." I waited for a few seconds, but there was no reply. I did not feel like picking up after my little brother, so I left everybody for a second and went straight to Harvey's room. But it was empty. I felt the panic rising in me. Where could he be? I rushed downstairs and ran outside without even stopping to tell my friends what was going on. "Hey, Billy, where are you going?" I heard one of them yelling after me, but I had no time. I ran to the playground. "Harvey!" I screamed as loud as I could. I stopped in the middle of the playground, looking around and listening carefully. A shadow flashed in an alley on the other side of the playground. I ran there as fast as I could. My heart dropped into my stomach when I saw some big, burly dude dragging my little brother away. "Hey, leave him alone!" I yelled and ran towards the stranger. The man let go of Harvey's hand, and my brother dropped like a rag doll. I slammed into the guy, driving my head right into his stomach. It didn't even seem to faze him. In one swift punch, he knocked me to the ground. Before I could get up, he just started kicking me, blow after blow, right to my head, my stomach, my ribs. It was horrifying. I screamed in pain. I curled up in a ball and tried to protect myself, but it didn't help much. The man just kept wailing on me. I swear, for a moment, I thought he might actually kill me. I closed my eyes. I was helpless. Then it just stopped, all of a sudden. I took my hands from my face to see that the man was being pushed off by two of my friends, Andy and Ryan. Andy had a baseball bat, and Ryan was armed with a broomstick. They started ganging up on the stranger and scared him away. The man ran off before I even managed to get back on my feet. We didn't follow him, out of fear and shock. As soon as I got to my feet, I rushed to Harvey. He was still lying on the ground, unconscious. He didn't seem hurt, but he'd blacked out. I shook his shoulders. He barely woke up for a second before closing his eyes again. It was so scary. I didn't know what to think. My friends and I got home and called 911 immediately. It all felt so surreal, as if it wasn't actually happening. Through the fog, I remember carefully putting Harvey on the couch, asking everyone but Andy and Ryan to leave, holding Harvey's hand for who knows how long until the police and the ambulance finally got there. That's when it got real. A little bit too real, actually. All of a sudden, I felt rage and horror and a complete and utter lack of control. I told the police what had happened, and let Ryan and Andy describe what the stranger looked like. I remember the paramedics saying Harvey looked like he'd been roofied or something, before taking him away to the hospital. The police officers snapped me back to reality and told me to call our parents. They came as soon as they could. By that time, Harvey had woken up. He told us and the police he'd just been shooting some hoops when the man approached him. He introduced himself as a basketball coach named Jimmy Burt. He said that he was looking for young talent for a junior league and that Harvey would be a perfect match. He showed Harvey some moves and they practiced together for a little while. That's when this Jimmy Burt offered my brother some orange juice to cool down. Harvey isn't the most naive or dumb kid, but by that time, he and this guy had spent enough time together to develop some sort of trust. So Harvey drank the juice without thinking much of it. He soon started feeling really sleepy, and then he doesn't remember anything after that. Turns out that the stranger, whose real name obviously wasn't Jimmy Burt, had, in fact, put a really heavy sedative into the juice. The doctors kept my little brother in the hospital for a day, just to make sure everything was all right, but he was fine. The worst was over. I did get in a lot of trouble for throwing a party behind my parents' back. And yeah, I really screwed up. That's the whole reason Harvey was out there unsupervised. I felt so bad. I still feel bad. And my parents knew it too. The most important thing is that my brother is okay. We were so lucky. It could have gone so much worse. I'd never wish anything like this on anyone. I hope that whoever hears this story will learn from my mistakes. The one thing that keeps bothering me is that they never caught this guy. All of us, me, Harvey, Andy, and Ryan, spent hours describing that man's face to the police, but it never led anywhere. They didn't have any suspects who matched the description. They put the guy's composite sketch on the news and everything, but nobody reported seeing him. He never showed up on the playground ever again. But to me, that's the scariest thing, because I know that he's out there somewhere, preying on innocent kids who are too young and naive to see evil when it's looking at them straight in the face with a fake, friendly smile and a bottle of orange juice. The thought makes me sick.